Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be testing out the new skin tint by Hourglass. So I just basically the full face because I'm going out to dinner reservations tonight with my girlfriends. So here we go. I'm just gonna speed through it and I'll just kind of talk over it. So here I am just lining over the my eyebrows. I'm using the Benefits pencil in the shade 4.5. I always go in and line the under eyebrow first, and then I connect it with the top line, and then I just fill it in. And then the front, I just do hair-like strokes, and I just kind of have it, go up and down so it looks like hair. And then I take the NYX glue gel, and I just basically comb through the whole eyebrow. And then after I do that, I get my Calvin Klein in shades SX13, which is basically my little lighter, maybe like 1 or 2 shades lighter than my skin, and I underline underneath my eyebrow. I don't do the top unless I feel like I have to, and then I just basically do the intail of the eyebrow. So I basically covered the whole eyelid with the concealer for my base for my eyeshadow, and then I blend it in with the brush that I'm actually using now. Here I am, I was using the Airspun powder, and I just went over the eyebrow. Hold on, I'm going so fast. I went over my eyebrow and then my eyelid just to have the shadow, have something to stick to. And then I am using the Color Box, what is this? Press Powder Palette, Color Pop, goodness gracious, eyeshadow. And I showed you the 2 colors that I basically use. The first was what I'm using now, which is basically my transitional color, which is just a brown, pretty brown color. And then I use a darker brown for the bottom of my eyelid. And then I actually bought a new Dose of Color eyeshadow. You'll see me pull it out soon, but it's in the shade Caffeine Queen. It was on sale. It was like $5. And you'll see me kind of use it over my dark shadow that I'm applying now. All right, there's the new shade from Dose of Colors. And you see, I tried to use a brush at first, but it showed nothing. And it's really just like a soft, glittery look. It doesn't really bring any pigment, just kind of like a glittery look to the eyelid. So I ended up just using my finger, and I went over just the dark perimeter of my eyelid that I used, the dark color, I should say. And I just used my finger, and I just, applied the glitter. You see if you get close to my eyes, but it wasn't nothing I would rave and tell you to go buy. Okay, I'm just basically wiping off my face, wiping off any excess eyeshadow that I might have gone to my face. And then I'm using the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Face Cream to moisturize the whole face. And then I use the Bobbi Brown, what is this? The Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base underneath my eyes. You see me applying it, and I just rub it in. And with each product that I use, I let it sit on my face for at least 1 to 2 minutes before I apply the new product. And here I am. This is the Glow Recipe Pore Smooth Blur Drops. And I'm just applying it where I have kind of bigger pores in my face, which is predominantly underneath my eyes. And then I am using the primer from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. And I'm just basically using that over my, my T-zone area where I'm predominantly oily throughout the night. And I just push that into the face, and I let that sit for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then here I am using the Hourglass skin tint. This was actually really nice. You see on the right side of my face, I scored a little too much out, but this was like a perfect shade. And this I used in the number 16 shade. I just purchased, and if you go back to look at my previous videos, but I did the Yummy Skin from Danessa Myricks, and I love that skin tint as well. But I feel like the Hourglass has a little bit more of a coverage, but they kind of ended off a little bit differently. The Danessa Myricks give you more of a glow versus the Hourglass gives you more of a matte. I felt like they both are really good, but I like this one, like I said, gave a little bit more coverage. I kind of showed on the side of my face where it kind of covered over a mole that I had, which I was very surprised about because I was okay with my mole showing through the skin tint. But this actually was a good product. I loved it. It actually stayed on. It didn't separate. I didn't get too oily. And of course, I use other products on my face before I applied the skin tint, but it did really well. And if you watch through the end of the video, I think it's 4 or 5 hour wear test, and I show you what the face looks like. But again, I love this product. I would definitely recommend it. Here I am using the Sephora Best Skin Concealer, and then this is in shade 35N, and then this is a brighter shade I just kind of pop in the inner corner, and then this is in 30P. Alright, and then I decided to use a cream contour in the LYS in the shade Strength, and I'm just basically putting over my forehead, my high cheekbones, and I didn't really do anything underneath my jawline because baby, I was running out of time. I think by the time I looked at the clock, I didn't show the video, I had literally 10 minutes to finish my face, so I had to be quick. But yep, I'm using the LYS contour, and I'm using the Real Technique brush, and I'm just basically pushing it in. When I use this brush, I push it in an upward, goodness, I basically push it up on my cheekbone, so it gives me a higher lip versus it bringing it down, giving me a droopy look. But you'll see me just kind of like push it in on my forehead, and I always push it into my hairlines so that it doesn't show any demarcations between the foundation and the contour. And I'm just using a little bit of leftovers that I have, and I kind of put it underneath the jaw. This is the Real Technique setting powder brush, and I'm using this, and I'm just basically pushing in my concealer. I used to use my sponge to do my concealer, but I realized I've always known, I just never did it, but I get more coverage when I use the brush versus the sponge. So I always go do the chin, underneath the nose, the edges of underneath the eyes, and then I do the forehead. And you'll see me use my contour brush that I use, and I just basically blend the concealer and the contouring together. And I just purchased these new sponges that people have been raving about on Amazon, and this is the Super Soft Paw sponges, and I just let it go underneath the water. I squeeze out all the water, so it's it's not even damped, but moistened sponge, and I am pushing in the concealer underneath the eyes. I don't think I'm ever going to just use a brush for underneath the eyes because I need to push in my creases or to avoid creases. And then this is the brush that I use for the foundation. I'm just blending out the concealer and the bronzer. I'm just pushing everything in together so it blends in seamlessly. And then I used my sponge. I didn't really show it, but I used my sponge and I went underneath my eye one extra time to get rid of any creases. And then I'm using that Sephora brush, and I'm using the Maybelline pressed powder in the shade 330. I do both underneath both the eyes, and then I take the Huda Beauty loose powder and banana bread, and I use a little Powerpuff Triangle thingamajig, and I'm using that, and I'm pressing in that loose setting powder. I love this setting powder. I'm stuck on one size, but I would say number 2 on my loose setting powders will be Huda Beauty, and this is in banana bread, and I'm just pushing it into the skin. You see how it gives a perfect under eye brightening where it doesn't look crazy. I don't never have any flashback in the photos, so I'm just basically every part of my face that I concealed, I'm using that loose setting powder. And the only place I predominantly bake is on the bridge of my nose and the edges or the sides of my nose. So you'll see me leave this powder on my nose for a little while. And then here I'm using my bronzer from Fenty, and then this is in Mocha Mommy. I'm using the same brush that I use the LYS contour shade, and I'm just pushing that in. Like I said, I am running behind as usual, and I'm trying to be quick, so I don't do anything extra. I just use that bronzer really quick. I didn't do any liquid blush. You'll see me use the Juvia's Place pink blush. I'll pull that out in just in a second, and then I use the volume 4. There it is right there, and you'll see me quickly go over just the top part of my cheeks just to give a little bit of a blush color to the face, bring some color in the face, and it was like a perfect shade. I don't go too overboard on the face this time with any blush because, like I said, a girl was running late. So I hope you have been watching this whole time. I hope you subscribed. I hope you continue to watch my videos. I'm going to continue to push out videos. So stay tuned and subscribe to my videos. And please leave comments below and let me know what kind of videos you guys want to watch or you want to see, or any products you want me to use or to test out for you guys. Here I basically use the One Size Turn Up the Base foundation powder in shade Dark 1, and I just go over the entire face so my face is not oily by the end of the night. And then I quickly just go I bake underneath the cheekbones with that Banana Bread and Huda Beauty loose powder, the loose powder that I use underneath the eyes. And I just quickly just give me a quick snatch to the jaw. And then I quickly, let me see, this is in, I use the same one, Black Opal in Bronze Boot. And I basically just kind of go from the eyebrow down to the bridge of my nose, just to give a nice little snatch nose, a quick snatch nose. And then you see me spray my face with the Morphe setting spray. So here's another new product. This is Dose of Color Duo lip cream. As you see, it's like a pinkish color on one side, and it's an iridescent, really pretty pink clear lip gloss, and this is in the shade Sweet. And I just applied it to the lips, and I did line the lips with the MAC pencil in shade Chestnut. I also purchased this Supreme Glow in Dose of Color. It's a highlighter. It's a really pretty white bright highlighter. It's in shade Milk and Honey, and it's too light to basically do to my cheekbones. Here it is right here. See, it's a really pretty shade, and I thought it would be best to put in the inner corner of my eye, and it was like a perfect color for the inner corner. Okay, so I used the Charlotte Tilbury in shade number 2, and I'm just basically pressing in that loose powder and Huda Beauty that we use underneath the eyes, and I'm just pushing it in. I'm not swiping, I'm pushing it in underneath the eye, and then you'll see me wipe away the bake on the nose and on the side of the nose. And then here go my brush. I didn't add any extra product, and I'm just basically pushing in that bake that we did underneath the cheekbones. And then I finish off with the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, sorry, I don't do a video afterwards or take any good pictures afterwards. Here I am in the restaurant. I did a quick video in the bathroom just so that you can see the look. And this is probably about 30 minutes after. Hey you guys, so this is 4 hours after using the Hourglass skin tint, and I must say it held up really good. I can't be loud because the kids are sleeping, but this is the way it ended up looking 4 hours later. Sorry I didn't get a good picture or video following once I finished, but this is the final look 4 hours later. I would say this would be on my top spin for the summer of Houston heat. I say it looked good and it held up really well. What do you guys think?